It's not looking good for the latest installment from Lucasfilm. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny's opening weekend box office predictions have plummeted over 25%. Woo! So, if you recall, box office tracking website Box Office Pro predicted the film would have an opening weekend domestic gross between 81 million and 111 million just last week. Now we've got a new update, this one from The Hollywood Reporter, that predicts the film will only have a domestic opening between 60 million and 70 million dollars. Absolutely horrendous. This is what Pamela McClintock wrote over there at The Hollywood Reporter. Disney in 20th Century's long-awaited, it's not 20th Century, it's Lucasfilm, long-awaited next installment in the action-adventure franchise is pacing to open to 60 million to 70 million over the June 30 to July 2 weekend, according to early tracking. That means the film's original predicted box office grosses from Box Office Pro have declined 25% on the low end. That's going from 80 million to 60 million, and nearly 37% on the high end. That is going from 111 million to 70 million. I think it was like 36.9%. So I rounded up there, nearly 37%, right? So to put that in perspective, the film is tracking worse than 2008's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull without even factoring in inflation. Like, that's how bad this film is tracking for its opening weekend. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had an opening weekend of 100.1 million domestically. The movie went on to gross 317.7 million domestically and another 469.5 million internationally for a global gross of 786.6 million. This film, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, is pacing far behind the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, almost 20 million. Again, not factoring in inflation. That is, I cannot understate how absolutely crazy that is. That is horrendous, horrifically bad. It's also pacing below Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when you factor in inflation. So you actually do factor in inflation. This is a film from the 80s. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade had an opening weekend of $37 million without inflation. However, if you factor in inflation, that now comes to 90.5 million. So even if you factor in inflation with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in its opening weekend, it is pacing behind. And moviegoers were a lot different back then. Movies usually lasted a lot longer in theaters, so you didn't have everything front loaded, where Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is going to rely on a front-loaded opening weekend to try and carry it, and it's not looking like that is going to happen.